It's time for Coffee with the Chicken Ladies, a podcast for people who love chickens.
Hey everybody, and welcome. It's Chrisie&Holly from Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. We're here, and this is episode number 251 of our podcast, where we talk about everything chicken, family, fun, and
more chickens.
More chickens. We drink a ton of coffee. I'm talking a ton. But most importantly,
we hug chickens every day.
And we kiss them too. Don't forget. We brew coffee from a little coffee house in Houston, Texas. Bright and early coffee. Holly Ann, what kind of coffee are we brewing today?
Native pecan.
Because it's fall, and that's what we drink. We drink fall coffee. We have a code at CWTCL 15 for 15% off a bagged coffee. Where should everybody go?
brightenearlycoffee.com.
And if you need K-Cups, go over to Amazon. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Are you ready to sip some of this delicious fall pecan coffee?
I am, but first, a word from our sponsor.
We have some exciting news to share from our sponsor, Grubbly Farms. They're here, new and improved, Grubbly's World Harvest.
I'm a longtime subscriber, and my flock love the healthy, nutritious treats, plus orders $40 and more ship free.
If you haven't heard, Grubbly's has a fantastic layer pellet and crumble feed. It's packed with plant and insect protein, perfect for those picky chickens and ducks.
Grubbly Farms makes food and treats for healthy pets and planet.
To support us and Grubbly Farms, use the link grubbly.co/coffee. Try it today.
Got a flock full of showstoppers? Listen up. Nutrina NatureWise Silky and Ornamental Layer Feed is specially crafted for your special birds in an all-new clean crumb form that's easy to eat for small beaks and has 22% protein to help them thrive. Learn more at the link in our show notes or nutrinaworld.com.
Okay, so right now, as people are listening to this, you're living La Vida Loca in Iceland.
Oh, I am in Iceland. Yes, I am. It's wonderful here. I love it.
Is it cold? Is it cold?
It's actually probably chillier like on the coast where we'll be. But I mean, I think September there is generally in the 50s.
Yeah. So you're going to be a little chilly, but as everybody knows,
that. That's going to sound, after this summer, that is going to sound amazing.
Yeah. When we go away, we have to pre-record so that we can get these episodes out to you without any interruption.
I'm in the beautiful West Fjords of Iceland knitting and visiting with sheep and, yeah, doing all the good things.
Bringing your bestie lots of Iceland stuff back.
No doubt. I have no idea what there's going to be to bring you back, but I will do my best.
Maybe a chicken?
Things made of Icelandic sheep wool.
A hat? Something?
Yeah, it could happen. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give it away. I mean, by now I've probably already bought gifts for you, but I'm not telling you yet what they are.
And right about now, you're really missing me. You're like, oh, I haven't talked to Chrissy in so long. But really, you're probably like, woohoo, I haven't talked to Chrissy in so long.
No, I won't be sad that I haven't talked to you, but I will be really relieved that we finally finished our humongous project.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So while I will probably be missing you, I will not be missing
the work that we've done this summer.
That we've been doing. Exactly right.
We've seen a lot of each other, even more than podcast work. So yeah, definitely. Yeah. So on that note, if you're listening to our show and you're loving it, head on over to Apple Podcast and leave us a written review. It does amazing things for the growth of our show. And while you're there, it doesn't cost a single thing to hit subscribe because they count them. And you want to hear what happens on Holly's Iceland trip. So yeah, you want to hit subscribe.
Wool and sheep. If you're looking for other ways to help support the show, you can tell a few chicken, duck, or goose loving friends about us. You can share your favorite episodes on social media. You can become a patron of the show, patreon.com/coffee with the chicken ladies. A gigantic thank you to all of our patrons. And the other thing you can do to help support the show is visit our website and our show notes, use our affiliate links and discount codes, and buy products from our sponsors.
Yay! You know what I love when it's 95 degrees outside?
Being inside.
Well, that too, but I really love cleaning my igloo chicken coop.
Yeah, it is so easy to clean. You don't have to break a sweat.
And you can use a water hose or pressure washer, so it doubles as a cool down. I also love those run covers.
Oh man, the shade is superb. I go into the run to cool off.
Yep, my flock's covered during the heat of the day, just chilling.
Meanwhile, we're melting on the patio. Seriously, can we get in on this amazing coop design for ourselves?
They're out there living the dream.
So when it's pushing 100 degrees, the right setup matters.
That's why we choose an igloo.
Get your girls their own just in time for summer.
Search Omelette. That's OMLET.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Do you like monthly subscriptions?
Does it have anything to do with chickens?
Of course.
Then yeah. Let us take a minute to tell you about Chicken Love.
You get a monthly Chicken Lady tea, treats for your flock, and a keeper care card.
And did you know with every multi-month subscription, you get a free Chicken Love logo t-shirt?
Really?
Yeah.
It's $36 a month with free shipping.
What are you waiting for? Get off the nest and click already. That's chickenlove.com. That's chickenluv.com. Get your subscription today.
The Breed Spotlight is brought to you by Murray McMurray Hatchery, defining quality for generations. For over a century, Murray McMurray Hatchery has remained a trusted family-owned business, working tirelessly to ensure our poultry meet the highest standards.
Whether you are an experienced enthusiast or just embarking on the journey, look to McMurray Hatchery for guaranteed quality, rare and heritage breeds, low minimums, and all the supplies you need to raise your flock. Request a free catalog today. I got a little short chicken, a little short chicken with little legs. They're short, they're real short legs. It's time for the Breed Spotlight, yeah.
Yeah. You got a short-legged chicken.
Yes. So this week's Breed Spotlight is
The Scots Dumpy, which I know is a
short chicken.
It's a funny name, the Scots Dumpy.
It could be called the Chrissie chicken because I'm short and you're short.
Well,
So call me
I'm
with the chicken lady
Scottish,
chicken.
so it could be my chicken because I'm Scottish and I'm short.
I'm Italian and short, so I could be part of
You're
that
not a
chicken
Scot.
too.
You're Italian.
Yeah, but I'm short.
The Scots Dumpy is a very, very old breed of chicken that is native to Scotland.
Very.
According to the Scots Dumpy website, there's historical and archaeological evidence that the Scots Dumpy existed at least 700 years ago.
It's a lot of hundreds.
It is. Now, I saw some other sources that place them as far back as 900 AD.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what happened? They're short, so they can be not seen by predators, and they don't get affected by the weather as much because the wind doesn't get them. They're so short.
They're very, very close to the ground. Now, the Scots Dumpy is extremely rare here in the U.S., and they're noted as a conservation priority breed on the watch list of the Rare Breed Survival Trust in their native UK. And if you haven't figured it out by now, one of their distinguishing features is their very short legs. According to British poultry standards, dumpies, which were also sometimes called bakies, crawlers, and your favorite, creepers, are a large fowl chicken whose short legs give them a swimming or waddling look when they walk or run.
They're like half duck, half chicken without the water part.
So cute.
I need a short chicken. I need one of these chickens.
I need these chickens too. Good luck getting them not straight run though, but we'll get to that. Now, the short legs are tied to a semi-lethal gene. And if this rings a bell, it's because Japanese bantams are the same way.
Oh, yeah.
This means that one copy of the gene, which would be heterozygous, one copy of the gene in a chick will produce the short legs. Two copies of the gene, which will be homozygous, leads to in-shell embryo death.
Oh.
So you don't want to breed two short-leggeds together. You need to keep long-legged dumpies in your breeding program to keep the genetics viable.
Yeah, because, dying upon hatch is horrible.
So here's the deal. If two short-legged birds are mated, 50% will result in short legs, 25% will hatch with longer legs, and 25% will fail to develop as viable embryos or will die upon hatching. That's if you're breeding two short legs together. Breeders usually keep a long-legged bird and a short-legged bird to breed together, and that pairing usually results in 50% of the birds being long-legged and the other half being short-legged. And you're not dealing with the embryo death with this mix. The long-legged dumpies are not affected by the gene at all. The long legs are considered a breed fault in the standard and not suitable for showing, But not only are they an important part of the breeding program, they also make really great pets and good layers.
It sounds like you're at fault if you're tall, like with this, because they're like,
where are you pulling that out of? You're at fault if you're tall?
Yeah, like they're saying you can't be shown, but you need to have a tall and a short.
The only place that the long-legged dumpies really are not welcome is the show ring. They're integral for everything else.
They should have a category for the tall and a category for the short.
I agree.
And for the short.
Now, this breed drastically diminished in number throughout the 20th century. We know this story. Until a group of dedicated breeders in Scotland set out to restore them by rounding up the leftover dumpies in the 1970s.
That just sounds so terrible.
The dumpies, I know. Maybe that's why they call them bakies, or I don't know where the bakies.
Creepers isn't much better.
Crawlers.
The creepy crawlers.
I thought this was a fun little reference. Author Diana Gabaldon mentions the Scots Dumpies in her Outlander books.
Nice.
Now, people tend to shy away from breeding them because of the lethal gene. But, like we said, they are desperately in need of conservation. And all you need to do is keep some long-leggeds in there and you're good. You need the long legs.
You need the tall. That's what I was saying, but they're getting like criticized for being tall.
Just in the show ring. Just in the show ring.
I mean, no discrimination for tall or short. Everybody's good. Come on.
I don't know where to go with that. So I'm just going to turn the mic over to you right now.
Yes, because we're going to talk about the dumpies, the creepy crawlies, and how they look. They have a single medium-sized comb and wattles and red earlobes, okay? So the colors are not set forth in their standard. They are allowed in any color accepted for other standard-sized birds. Though black, white, cuckoo, and blue are the most common colors, okay? The legs and the feet should be white, except blackbirds should have black legs and cuckoos should have mottled legs. They throw curveballs in with these Scots Dumpies everywhere, man.
I mean, when you are working with a breed this old, I think you get some really neat quirks.
You do, because you got tall, you got short, you got different color legs. You don't really have this in breed spotlights. We don't, except this is why I love this bird. I need this bird.
I love this bird too.
It belongs in my flock for sure. So roosters weigh in at about 7 pounds, while the hens are about 6 pounds. So they're short, but they're big.
Scots Dumpies.
That's right. That's right. So the hens are good layers, giving you around 180 cream-colored eggs per year. Now, this is different.
That's a red-eared bird giving
That's what I was about to say.
Sorry, you go ahead and say it.
You cut me off.
I was excited.
I was excited too, because I was like, this is one of those exceptions that you got red earlobes and cream-colored eggs. You don't see that often. This is another weirdness of this bird.
And this is not like cream, like tinted brown cream egg. This is like a white to cream egg.
Yes, with red earlobes. And this is one of those rare things that you don't see a lot.
Yes.
So here's a drawback to them. They're known to be excellent broodies. Now, I got like a million broodies, so I don't need another broodie.
Low to the ground, it probably isn't hard to sit on a clutch of eggs, though.
Oh, man, these poor chickens.
I love them. I sincerely love these chickens.
Yes, we need some of these chickens in our life. The Scots Dumpies Club official website notes that hens with longer legs are said to lay more eggs.
Now,
it just keeps coming, man.
There's no proof of that, no research. And even they say that. They just say it's like an anecdote. People say the longer leg dumpies lay more eggs.
It just keeps coming. This is a bird that has every quirk that's in the book. I mean, come on. This is great. Now, they're known to be quiet and very friendly. They make excellent pets and a good breed for a small farm or a homestead.
You need to guard them well against predators. I mean, I'm torn between whether, especially the cuckoo or the blue, I'm torn between whether or not their color and their closeness to the ground would keep them safe for predators.
Or they can't run fast, man. They can't run.
Exactly. They can't run fast. So guard them well against predators. And again, if you're breeding, you must keep some of the long-legged birds to keep your breeding program going. Here in the US, dumpies only come in the cuckoo variety, and they are ridiculously adorable. They are so cute.
Oh, yeah, they're really cute. Now, Sandhill Preservation Center does offer straight-run chicks. You got to take that chance and get that boy. Now, if you got a short boy, woo!
They make a note on their website that they will not sell you just one chick. You have to buy at least 6 straight runs because they're selling them with the idea that someone who wants to breed them for conservation is going to get them.
It's a breeding flock.
These are precious genetics.
Yeah, exactly. But if you get a boy in there, that's a big boy with short legs. Woo!
The cockerels don't look as low to the ground. They have a little bit of a longer leg, but they're still low to the ground.
I mean, here's the thing. If you're at a spot where you can look them up, you need to look them up because they're a very unusual chicken. We have not done them for a very long time because they are very hard to find. And that's the availability factor. And if you do go to Sandhill Preservation, you have to get straight run. And a lot of people can't take that chance.
6 straight run.
Yeah.
6 at a minimum. We also found 1 or 2 small farm breeders offering chicks. Google them and see what you can find. I don't even know where they were located, just that they are breeding and selling stock from Sandhill as well.
We need to see pictures. If you have this chicken wherever you are, please put a story on Insta and hit that mention button.
Plenty of photos of them in the UK. I mean,
I want to see personal people who have these chickens. Message us. Yeah.
I don't know. I personally do not know anyone in the US who has Scots Dumpies, though I would love to.
I'd love to be the first person who has Scots in the US. I
mean, I think they're so old. The breed is so old and they're so sweet.
Adorable.
Apparently. They're so cute. I know. So
everything short is adorable. Let's just say that. Is that how that works? So, yes, there we go. The Scots Dumpy, one of our all-time faves. We love them.
We think.
We need them.
We do.
Are you ready to dive into the fascinating world of backyard ducks? Look no further than Metzer Farms, your premier destination for top quality waterfowl. Whether you're a seasoned breeder or just starting out, Metzer Farms has everything you need to elevate your flock to the next level. And if you're passionate about call ducks, you're in for a treat.
Metzer Farms hatches a stunning variety of call ducks, meticulously bred for their miniature size, beauty, and calm temperament. From snowy whites to vibrant colors, each duck is a masterpiece waiting to grace your backyard. Visit metzerfarms.com today to browse their extensive selection and start your journey into the wonderful world of waterfowl. Metzer Farms, where passion meets perfection.
If you're looking for a chicken coop that's produced in a planet-friendly, sustainable way, try Nestera.
Each coop is made from highly durable, 100% recycled plastic that keeps the equivalent of up to 2,000 shampoo bottles out of a landfill.
Their clean, modern design will fit into any garden or run area and comes with an industry-beating 25-year warranty and a range of handy accessories.
Simple to put together, so quick and easy to clean, and most importantly, red mite resistant. Your chickens will love it.
Quick shipping from Nestera.us.
For a 5% discount, use the affiliate link in our show notes, on our website, and on Instagram. Link in bio. Check them out today. Do you have a flock full of showstoppers? Silkies, Polish, Frizzles, we're talking VIPs of the backyard. Then you'll want to hear this. Nutrena NatureWise offers silky and ornamental layer feed that's specially crafted in an all-new clean crumb form. It's easy to eat for birds with small beaks, so every bite counts. And packed with 22% protein. It delivers the nutrition your one-of-a-kind flock needs to thrive. You can learn more about the feed at the link in our show notes or go to NutrinaWorld.com. Okay, are we ready to move on to main topic? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, today we are really, really excited because we bring you not only Fiona, but we have Hugh with us. Fiona and Hugh are the duo behind English Country Life, that fantastic YouTube channel. Fiona's our favorite floof lady. Welcome. It's good to see both of you.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
We love you guys.
It's a bit weird, the two of us. Don't know how this is going to go.
Nice.
Little does everybody know, we've been talking for like over an hour before we even hit the record button about all kinds of cool stuff.
The conversation, didn't we? And say, should we be recording some of this?
We need to record, but it was good stuff. It was really good stuff. When Hugh starts talking about apple trees, I am all in.
We're in the middle of harvest at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah, well, what we covered: apple trees, raccoons.
Cider is important.
Yeah.
Cider is very important. So, Hugh, have you ever heard of the Claygate pearmain?
Pearmains, I've got a pearmain, but I haven't got a Claygate pearmain.
I have a Claygate. It's not doing well.
Right.
As I know, the pearmains were originally from the UK, right?
Yeah, we've got an Adams pearmain, and it's fruits very late, doesn't it?
Very late. Ferociously good fruit.
Yeah. Keeps well as well.
Yeah, good keep. It keeps through to about March, unrefrigerated, something like that. From
wow.
Yeah. We're looking to put a new one in this year called Scotch Bridget, which I cannot buy commercially, but I've got a friend on the other side of the country who has sent me some twigs, which I've then grafted onto the right rootstock. But it's a very weird apple. You'd love this one, Holly. It's a cooker, reasonable size, sort of medium-large size. Quite holds its shape well when cooked, so it doesn't turn to mush or anything like that. And reasonably sharp as a cooker. But if you store it, as it goes through the winter, it becomes sweeter and sweeter and sweeter as it ripens, and it turns into an eater round about February or March.
Wow.
And then stays in till June.
That's amazing.
No, I mean, isn't that a good apple? One that you can literally be eating right through to June the following year.
Fantastic.
I absolutely had to get hold of some. So, yeah, we've actually got 2 ready for planting out, which I've grown in containers, and we'll be planting them out this winter.
Now, is that something that you're going to do in the fall as a fall prep?
Yeah, absolutely. So they will get... Well, fall is fascinating from our point of view, because fall is a term that we clearly don't recognise in the UK, because autumn is the term.
Yes, of course.
We don't recognise fall. But, yeah, I mean, people always think of it's like, well, because people have harvest festivals and all the rest of it and think it's all over. It's probably our busiest time, I think, to be quite honest with you. I mean,
it is. A lot of preserving foods.
You cannot preserve fast enough. I mean,
we
have 2 canners, both of which will take 16 pints. And we'll often have both of those on the go at the same time.
Wow.
Dehydrators going constantly.
Yeah, we've got 2 square yards of dehydrator space. So the equivalent of 2 sort of very large dehydrators, again, running side by side.
Wow.
We organise 4.5 freezers as well, so that we've got free drawers for things going in.
But I mean,
that's amazing.
Yeah, but
you guys are organized.
Well, you've got to be. I mean, I've always said to people, if they will look at our pantry. So we have a building which is a pantry.
We call it the brew house. It sounds better,
but it's racked out. So we'll have 400 canning jars, and then a lot of clip-top jars of sort of dried fruit and that type of thing. So if we do fruit, let's just take soup. So I love curried parsnip soup, and we might do 2 canners full. And people say, well, that's a huge amount of, one recipe of soup, that you did 36 pints of one recipe of soup. And I go, well, there's 2 of us. So really, if you're going to have a decent bowl of soup, you want 2 jars.
Mm-hmm.
So that basically says we can have that soup once every 3 or 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great. Yeah.
And if you ever think of all the food that your family eats in a week, and everything, all the bread, all the takeaways, all the milk, everything. And now think of that times 52 and find a way of storing it.
Right.
It is physically an enormous thing to do. And one of the things we find is, people go, just get a freezer. Well, we've got 5, really, haven't we?
Yeah, I call it 4.5 because one is actually a fridge freezer, so call it 4.5.
We have 3 freezers and a fridge freezer. Yeah. There's only 2 of us again.
Yeah, we have 2 freezers and a fridge freezer also.
And even then we find things like root vegetables and stuff like that. We have to go back to a lot of the old traditional ways of storing them, because you cannot freeze enough carrots and
sand
so forth.
Things.
Yeah, sand clamping is brilliant. I mean, I must admit, have you ever heard of, I don't know if you have clamps over there.
So what is another autumn harvest besides apples?
Well, sort of all the fruit. Now,
huge amount of raspberries at the moment.
Yeah. Now,
raspberries. Nice.
Do you have mulberries over there?
We do have mulberries. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mulberries coming very late for us.
Medlars, quinces.
Yeah, medlar, quince. Have you ever had a medlar? If you haven't had a medlar.
Last time we had you on the show and we were talking about fruit trees, I was familiar with the medlar, but I checked to see if you can get them in the US. And you can. So right now I have a Royal that I'm looking at on the corner of my property and a Marron medlar. So I've got those 2 in. No quinces yet, though. I want quince.
Quince are fantastic, I have to say. And they have two purposes, interestingly, historically. They make a fantastic jelly, but I always think when somebody says it makes a great jelly, that's a fruit that you really couldn't think of anything else to do with, isn't it? You know, it's like, you tried eating it raw and that didn't work. You tried cooking it and that didn't work. We'll make jam out of it. It'll be fine.
I like them raw.
That you can eat them raw. Interestingly, historically, in about Elizabethan times, they were kept as a room perfumer. They smell fabulous. And a bowl of them picked slightly unripe will stay all winter just making a room smell incredibly nice.
I love that.
Yeah.
Isn't that such a great thing? You know?
We've got better uses for them, quite frankly.
Yeah.
We've got all the pears coming in. We're having a fantastic year for pears, aren't we?
Great year for pears, and it's a great year for nuts at the moment as well, which again we try to do. I mean, it's quite interesting. I know sort of the idea of like the Christmas puddings that we eat over here fill Americans with sort of horror and loathing. The idea of this almost like burning fruitcake that we consume. But I mean, even if you just take something like fruitcake on a sort of homesteading basis, one of the things I was most proud of again is, go on then. You know, everyone says, oh, I could do that. I could be self-sufficient. It's, go on then, make a fruitcake from scratch.
I like fruitcake, and my mom really likes a fruitcake.
Mine does too.
Yeah.
But growing everything that goes in it is quite the game.
It would be. Yeah.
If you're going to make, because, I mean, over here, really, we can grow grapes, but it's pretty tough, isn't it? Now, I made sort of a classical error in doing this, which is things like Christmas pudding were originally called plum pudding over here. So I thought, well, that's easy then, isn't it? They must have clearly pre-grapes. What they must have done is grown plums and dried them and made them with plums. So that's what I did, and it made a fantastic, although slightly unusual, fruitcake.
It was lovely.
It was absolutely delicious. They had dried plums instead of sort of sultanas and currants and dried grapes in their various forms. I then found out that actually going back about 250 years, plum simply meant dried fruit, and it absolutely never had. So when it was plum pudding, plums were actually, it wasn't actually made of plums at all. It was made of sultanas and currants and all the rest of it. So I think we've invented a new form of fruitcake, but it is fascinating what you can do. Dried apples, dried raspberries. I mean, dehydrated raspberries.
Oh, the best.
You know,
Really?
absolutely. Oh, God.
Little, they retain their shape. It's so bizarre. They retain their shape, but it's like little crispy bullets of raspberry flavour. They're just so strong, so sharp. They're gorgeous. They're fabulous.
If you imagine the consistency of a meringue,
Yeah.
they have, so they don't.
Raspberry sherbet.
That's exactly that, yeah. So, but it has that crunch like a meringue has, but it's sharp like sherbet. And slightly sweet with a strong raspberry flavour.
Okay.
We do talks for people sort of
And we always take
gardening clubs and things like that. And we always take dried raspberries and they just disappear, don't they? They're sort of like people smuggling the jar out under their coat.
Right now, everybody's like, where can I get some dried raspberries? I need to eat these right away because
and the
your
answer
description of them is amazing.
Yeah, but that's the joy of homesteading. You cannot buy them. But you know what? I mean, one of the things I always say is there are 20,000 varieties of chili. Right? If you go to a supermarket in the UK, you are offered 3.
Wow.
Yeah. Because they're the ones that are easy to grow. They last forever.
Right.
Yeah. They're simple to ship. Right. They don't taste nice. You know, all the really interesting varieties you simply cannot get. Well, you can. You grow them.
Right.
And there's thousands of them.
And there are literally thousands. We grew one called Chocolate Negro, which is a South American variety, and it tastes of chocolate. And it's actually like almost black, like a dark brown, almost.
Wow.
And it absolutely stunning. We grew another one called Lemonade, which genuinely tastes of citrus.
It makes the best sauce to go with eggs.
It does, actually, yeah. Yeah, if you do a fermented sauce.
So speaking of eggs, I got to switch us over a little bit here. To, because we got to talk a little bit, although I think the four of us could just talk for hours about everything, but we've got to talk a little bit about what you guys do to kind of set up for autumn with the chickens on the homestead, because you have some really good, really great ideas.
Okay, so in terms of just getting the chickens ready for autumn, do you mean? Or
that and the coops and the runs, what are some of the things that you're going to be checking while you guys are doing like those fall checkups?
Okay, well, one of the things we were saying about autumn, you mean autumn? One of the things that we'll be doing is actually genuinely, because we live in farming towns, round about September time is what we call rat season. So we are completely surrounded by arable fields.
Yeah, never buy a cabbage from a supermarket.
Oh, no.
We see the rats come out after they've been harvested.
Absolutely. So, of course, what happens all through the years is these fields are full of food supplies and they're completely undisturbed. So rats will move into the field, they'll make little burrows and nests in the field. They will breed prolifically and never look into the exponential growth of rats because you won't sleep again.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, once they've had about 3 litters of youngster rats, which have gone on to have their own litters, along we come, take away all their food and actually literally plough the field and dig their homes up. So you get this almost Pied Piperish scourge of these rats moving out from the fields, looking for new food sources and looking for new places to live. So
it's getting colder, so they want, they're like, okay, where can I go?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So one of the things we actually talk about and write about is, again, you have to be vigilant as a homestead, and particularly those with chickens, because you get people with chickens that are used to, they put feed in open feeders and leave it out overnight. They leave water supplies out overnight. They leave eggs in the coop overnight.
Coops out directly onto the ground, and of course they'll burrow underneath, and that'll be their new home because there'll be the warmth radiated from the chicken house. So we always put the coops on slabs, always.
As soon as you see, I'm saying this, from growing up on a farm, but as soon as you see one hole that could possibly have been made by a rat, you have got to do something. You can't let them get a foothold.
Absolutely not. Yeah. No, you have to deal with it. And I mean, people don't realize, although they carry, diseases like sort of leptospirosis, etc., they also carry salmonella in a big, big, big way, rats. Now, in the UK, almost all commercial chickens are inoculated against salmonella. So one of the reasons that eggs in America are refrigerated, they're not in the UK, is our chickens don't have salmonella. So storing them at room temperature is not a problem. But obviously rats can then bring it into flocks if you're not very, very careful. And of course, the third one, which is becoming more and more and more prevalent, is rats are a disease vector for avian influenza.
Wow.
Yeah.
And via drinkers, unfortunately. So they can literally, if you leave a drinker out overnight, you may never see the rat, but if it drinks from the drinker and then your flock drink from the drinker, that is sufficient for a disease vector to pass.
That's a terrifying thought.
Yeah. So keeping your coops on a slab or up off the ground so that you can see what's going on, and cleaning up those bowls and making sure everything's clean at night will help be preventative. So like on a seasonal kind of thing, is fall a big time to have to worry about these rats because they're looking for a warm place, and it's a harvest time, so their food's gone.
Exactly.
So filling up holes in the
even
coops.
if you're not in the middle of the countryside, the rats are still going to come because they're going to be looking for warmer places to live.
Yeah.
So they look for shelter, water, and food, like those three things. So you have to make it as inhospitable as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you do, and even then, if they're hungry enough, they will come around. And then if you do see them, you have to deal with them. But again, they are clearly primarily nocturnal. So you can have them and not see them. So again, we do advise people to know the signs, if you like. So know what a rat dropping looks like, know what the holes look like. Drag marks, and people don't realise that rats cannot lift their tails off the ground. So their tails get very dirty. They primarily hug walls as they move. They don't like being out in the open because that makes them vulnerable to predators.
Mm-hmm.
If you see long streaks of dirt along the edges, very, very low down on your walls, that's a rat tail dragging along the wall.
And if you've got a wild bird feeder, get rid of it. As soon as fall comes, get rid of your wild bird feeders, because, if you've ever seen a wild bird on a bird feeder, they go for the grains which they really like, and they'll just throw stuff out left, right, and centre that they're not interested in. And all that stuff on the floor is an attractant.
Yeah. But there's other things. One of the interesting things for us, which is quite exciting but challenging, is probably one of a better word, is we will sit there in fall and we'll review our flock. And it is the question of who's coming through to next year, which ones are not going through to next year as breeders, and which new up-and-comings are going to form the new breeding flock for the following year. So we're very keen. We band a lot of our chickens. We put coloured leg bands on them, and we'll often have on what we call a batch band and an individual marker. So the left leg will say have all of one clutch will be orange, and the right leg, they will have a different colour on each individual within the orange clutch. Because if we're sitting there looking in at 60, 70, 80 birds, we need to have a way to go, that one's nice. Well, by the time they've walked 5 yards away, you've lost them in the mess of other chickens. So we need to be able to say that, that one from the orange batch that's got a blue marker on it.
You know who the cockerel is, but the orange batch tells you who the hen is as well?
Correct. Obviously, the hen who hatched them, not necessarily the hen who laid them.
When we sell our youngsters, we like them to go in groups that they've grown up. So we've just had a chap come this morning to pick some hens up, and they were actually hatched by both autumn and winter, because when autumn decided, they were hatched within 3 days of each other. And when autumn made her chicks independent, they all moved in with winter and her chicks. And then a week later, so winter made all her chicks independent, so all of them just stayed together and moved into the same coop. So we've got no idea actually now, because we didn't band them early enough, but it doesn't matter because they're bonded. They're all
our eggs anyway.
This is great for homesteading because this is what people are doing in the fall. This is something that, some people may not think about, that you do have to plan your flocks as, you go with hatching and what you're going to do and who's going to hatch this year and who's going to stay, who's not. So, that's something that not everybody thinks of. And that's a really good point.
Is the cockerel question, because we always hatch late in the season. We hatch 1 or 2 clutches of bought-in eggs, because we bring our biosecurity is we bring no live birds onto the property.
Yeah.
But we choose to replace the cockerel with an unrelated new cockerel every year.
The laws of genetics don't change just because it's chickens.
No, absolutely. Right. And even though we live in the most redneck county in the UK, we basically don't like things that sleep with their sister. So, we get to the point that we say every year, I can't say that on a podcast. Okay, well.
Oh, we got to keep that in.
Oh, that's staying in.
But we're going to get thrown out of the county.
Yeah, no, we won't. Actually, we always look at Deliverance as being a little bit upper class around here. So
we are going to get hounded out.
But, no, I mean, genuinely, though, it is a thing, as all breeders. If you've just got 90, 100 chickens running around a field and you don't know which ones are related, you've got a problem.
You've got a problem, for sure. So the band situation's great. And having a certain time of the year that you do it, it's just smart.
In some ways, it's easier for us because we do it with broody hens. So it's easier for us, actually, even without leg bands, to identify which hens have come from which clutch, because we're small scale breeders. We don't actually have that many broody hens. We've got less than 10. Well, we've got between 8 and 10 every year. So we know which clutch the hens come from.
Generally, yeah. I mean, you have to be careful. The colour banding really helps, but there's an age criteria because they didn't all hatch at the same time. Yeah. So you can, and generally what we do is hatch, because we only need 1 cockerel, we need lots of hens, and viability is highest in the spring. We hatch our own eggs earlier in the season, and all of those will go on to be hens. Later in the season, we'll buy in some eggs and we'll hatch the cockerel for the following year. So they're generally in the smaller size of the birds that are running around, because they hatch later in the season, because we only need 1. Of course, that's the reality of it. Although we generally take 2 through. And when the first one matures, what we'll do is fertility test that one when he starts treading the hens. And provided he's fertile, good breed, conformation, good temperament, then the other one goes to freezer camp.
Yeah. I mean, we also have a steady supply of people coming to pick up hens at this time of year, because obviously the common way of getting chickens over here isn't chicks, as it is in the US.
Right.
People buy point of lay, so between 14 and 16 weeks. So at this time of year, we've got sort of every second day, someone's coming to get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chickens.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you also, because most of your hens are going broody, you also do some different breeds for egg supply.
Yeah.
So do you choose?
They're so cute.
What were this year's?
So we've got some French Morans with the fluffy feet, but we've got 2 types. We've got Splash and Blue.
Wow.
We've got a rare breed called Brakel.
Brakel's gorgeous.
Yep.
They are gorgeous.
They are
so gorgeous, and when they're going to look totally different than adults, aren't they? They've got a little bit of brown in the head now, but as chicks, they almost look like zebra stripes.
They do, yeah, black and white stripes on their faces.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they're in that same sort of sprightly group as the Egyptian Fayumis, but a little bigger. Anyway.
We've got 2 lots of leghorns, so we have got exchequers again, but we've also got some partridge leghorns.
Oh.
They are so friendly.
Very bold.
Adore them.
Yeah.
I absolutely love them.
At 1 day old, if you put your hand flat on the floor, they just run into your hand. And you
I love that.
And they just sit there quite happily staring at you going, hello.
Yeah. And then we've got cream leg bars.
Cream leg bars.
Have cream leg bars.
Yeah, cream leg bars are out.
Too.
Gotta have the leg bars. Do you decide those breeds in the fall?
We have a bit of a thing. So we insist on running our flock as one complete flock, not section. So whatever breeds we have to be able to distinguish the eggs away from the Orpington eggs. Mm-hmm. So the only breeds we have will either generally lay white, blue, or chocolate brown eggs because the Orpingtons lay tinted eggs. So that's our restriction on which breeds. I would love to have 1 or 2 breeds that unfortunately also lay tinted eggs. The trouble is we simply couldn't visually distinguish them in a nest box. So
we would have to turn them around in 1 year, so they'd be gone by 16 weeks. So it's a kind of a bit disappointing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it works because we only keep Orpington cockerels.
Yeah.
So if we find a blue egg, a white egg, or a dark brown egg in the nest, we know it's going to produce a weird hybrid.
Right.
So those go for eating, and anything which is tinted can be laid for incubation.
Absolutely. I mean, there's 1 or 2 that I regret. I've always fancied Brahmas. I think Brahmas are one of the nicest breeds around.
Especially since our friend, we've discussed this before, they've got lemon.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised Holly didn't make us get on the train with you and, steal some of them.
They're so elderly now. You wouldn't want them, bless them.
No, I think they're 11 now.
Yeah. There's only 2 of them left, and they are around 11.
You would love their place is insane. I mean, they harvested the stone from pulled down manor houses, and they are building a greenhouse at come orangery made out of stone that is so old.
It's amazing.
That the stones have masons' marks because the masons were illiterate. So they used to have their own symbol that they put into the stones.
Wow.
So they would be paid appropriately by the overseer when they were building manor houses and cathedrals.
But she's found it's a milling steel.
No, it's not.
What is it then?
It is actually the steel plate that they put these steel shoes on cartwheels.
Oh, so, right.
You know, when you used to heat the steel hoops up to go on a cartwheel, it goes on a steel plate, you put the wooden wheel, and then you chuck buckets of water over it to get on. So
that's a cocktail bar now.
That's the cocktail bar in the greenhouse.
That's perfect.
That sounds awesome.
They're wonderful people. They're not wealthy, but they're just farmers. So this stone was, I think, 100 miles away. It's like, we'll get the tractor, we'll put a tractor trailer on, we'll drive the tractor 100 miles there, we'll load it up by hand, and we'll bring it back again. You know?
I love that.
And even the glass that they're putting in comes from, it's 70-year-old glass. Still in, and it was made for commercial greenhouses 70 years ago when they came in hardwood wooden crates. You bought your glass in hardwood wooden crates, and they've still got it, and it's still in the hardwood wooden crates.
That is so unbelievably cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing about this part of the world. You're falling over history. You know, I mean, our little cottage is, we don't know how old it is. I mean, it's certainly 1750, but there's some people think it's at least 100 years older than that.
Well, in 1750 was the first time it was ever mentioned in documents, and it was a well-established tenanted farmhouse at that point. But because it wasn't the landowner's house, it was a tenant farmhouse on their property, it didn't get mentioned in documents because it was an unimportant property.
Right.
It's just amazing.
It is. It's so important because it's listed, so there's very little we can do to it.
No, but yes, I mean,
so we're going to have a field trip back to the UK and stay with you guys and learn all these different things so that we can come back to the US and say, we are now ready for anything, any season. We're going to do it all.
I suspect that Holly might quite enjoy it because I think one of the things that I love around this is the ancientness of everything. It has weird. So, I mean, I'm assuming with your sheep, Holly, you have rams?
No, actually, we don't keep any rams because we don't breed. They're literally just wool sheep. I mean, at this stage of our, I don't even know what you want to call it. At this stage of our homesteading, we know what we like to do. And we really, other than breeding the Nankins sometimes, we don't really want to breed anything because we're just too busy. The whole ram, the tupping season, all of that would just, I think I'd lose my mind. I'd love.
Well, this is the great thing about homesteading, isn't it? Because you don't have to do everything.
Right.
just do the bits that you're comfortable with and you enjoy and you like. And you don't have to do this whole, you have to grow everything you're going to eat. You have to plan every part of the season. You don't. Just get yourself a plant pot and put a carrot seed in. If you live in the middle of town, just do that.
And Holly will also travel anywhere where she can get 5 to 7 pounds of fine British wool and carry it around all day.
That might happen.
I offered to take that bin bag on the train all the way back to Lincolnshire, 200 miles. I was very happy in a, what you call it, garbage bag. I was very happy to do that and answer all the questions from the city workers as to what's that smell.
Oh my God.
Fine lanolin. That's what that is.
I was very happy with it. I had no problem with it.
The walk back to the flat, everyone was staring at us like, what does she have in that bag? I was laughing.
If you don't have at least a few people staring at you, are you doing things right?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's actually an interesting thing you say with lanolin, because I mean, one of the things I do is one of the amazing, ridiculous sidelines you have to do when you're homesteading is we make a lot of our own household products. So we make our own polish and soap and all those things.
Actually, Hugh does.
Well,
let's be honest about this. Hugh does.
But I mean, you'll know this on is if you ever want to have the youngest skin in the world, get hold of a shepherdess, because lanolin, in terms of, you can get by all these incredibly expensive creams. There is nothing in the world that is more soothing if you've got broken skin, all of that sort of thing. Yeah. Lanolin is an incredible product. It's one of the things that absolutely infuriates me is we just throw so much stuff away now. We should be, and it's so easy to be. We were talking before about, food waste in the world, and, how do you stop that? And my answer is just teach kids to grow food. If they've tended that seed from March all the way through to August, and they've dug it up with the sweat of their brow, and they've washed it, and they've brought it in, and then they've chopped some logs, and they've lit the stove, and they've cooked that for their tea, I'll guarantee you they won't be picky about it and scraping it into the bin. They'll be celebrating every mouthful.
Right. They will be eating that. Yeah.
This is why I love the conversations, first with our dearest friend Fiona, but with Hugh, you never know where this show is going to go. And this is one of the things I love, because it's like a grab bag. Like, we started talking about fall, autumn tasks in the chicken, and we have talked about everything under the sun, and this is just enjoyable. We want to say bye to you guys and thank you so much for coming on and talking to everybody. We could talk for hours, all of us. That's for sure. And we have done that. We have done that.
Can and do.
Oh, yeah. So thank you again for coming on and spending this hour with us. It's been amazing.
No problem. Lovely to see you again.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
We just want to thank Fiona and Hugh one more time for a really interesting conversation. It's easy when you're not in the thick of preserving food and giving yourself some food security to not understand how much work really goes into it and how worthwhile that work is.
I mean, homesteading with chickens, a lot of times it's homesteading with a lot of other things too. And you got to do all the things along with the chickens.
But if you're just dipping your toe in, pick and choose the things you can do so you're not run off your feet and you don't get overwhelmed.
Exactly.
Our friends at Good Eggs solved the age-old question of how should I wash my eggs?
They're chicken people just like us who created the original silicone egg scrubber.
Both Chrissy and I use their brush and natural enzyme wash every time.
It's a total game changer.
It makes cleaning eggs so much faster and easier, plus they have a lifetime guarantee.
Good Egg is a small family business right here in the U.S., and they donate 10% of all profit directly to folks affected by cancer.
Go check them out at goodeggstuff.co.
That's goodeggstuff.co. Tell them Chrissie and Holly sent you. Okay, so are we ready to move on to
cracking the eggs?
Cracking those eggs. Now, it's, again, September. It's apple time, and it's apple breakfast bake. Because we want to incorporate apples, and it's one of the best fruits to eat. An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yes.
Holly eats 16 million apples a day, so she never has to go to the doctors.
If I grew 16 million apples a day, I think if I could sell them all, I'd be very wealthy and I wouldn't be doing this podcast.
You would share that with me because
Why?
I am because I'm your best friend.
You're my best friend making fun of my apples.
I want someone to cut.
You best work for that, girl. That's all I'm saying. Apple breakfast bake. Actually, this is so delicious. I don't care what meal you eat it for. I mean, we called it breakfast bake, but this baby is so good.
Meal bake.
Meal bake. It's just a all-around bake. The anytime apple breakfast bake.
There we go. That's what we need to change the name
All right,
to.
I'm going to note that. Anytime apple breakfast bake.
There we go.
Anytime apple bake.
Yeah, there. Anytime apple breakfast bake. Okay, so let's go through the ingredients of this phenomenal recipe. 1 roll of ground breakfast sausage or a pound of your favorite sausage or plant sausage, anything that you use, cut or crumbled into pieces. 1 large sweet onion, roughly chopped. 6 cups of cubed bread or gluten-free bread. 10 to 12 eggs. So right about now, save those eggs up and then use them in this one recipe. Here we go.
And we said 10 to 12 because if you have a few smaller ones, it's
All my
generally
bakes-
10 large eggs, but
All my bakes, I use 12 because it's like, why would you not want to, if you're going to bake it, you want a good amount. So you
absolutely.
Can eat it. 3 cups of whole milk or thick oat milk. 3 sweet tart apples, diced, peeled if desired. We like that extra fiber that the peels give us. You can use Pink Lady or Granny Smith work well. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 2 cups of shredded cheese or dairy-free cheddar or cheese of your choice, 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme or 2 teaspoons fresh and chopped, 1/2 teaspoon of dried sage or 1 tablespoon fresh and chopped, salt and pepper to taste, and olive oil.
Now, this is one of those dishes that needs to sit for about 8 hours or even overnight to let the bread absorb all that custard.
Oh, yeah.
Plan ahead for this one. In a large skillet, you're going to brown the sausage, then set it aside to drain and cool. Add a splash of olive oil to the skillet and cook the onion, stirring occasionally. You're going to cook it for about 5 minutes or until the onion is getting soft and beginning to brown. Then set the skillet aside. In a large mixing bowl, add the eggs and milk and whisk them together until very well blended. In another bowl, you're going to toss the apples and the cinnamon together and set them aside. Now, you assemble this in layers. So you're going to grab that prepared baking dish, spread about half the bread cubes evenly in the bottom of the dish. Top that with half of the sausage, half of the onion, half the apples, and half of the cheese. Then you're going to repeat the same layers a second time with the remaining ingredients: bread, sausage, onion, apples, cheese. Carefully pour the egg mixture over the top, cover and refrigerate for 8 hours or overnight. When you're ready to bake, you're going to preheat your oven to 325. You cook this on a bit of a lower temperature because of the eggs. You want a gentle cook.
Right.
Uncover the dish and bake for 55 to 60 minutes or until a tester inserted in the center comes out clean. Serve it warm and enjoy.
Enjoy those apples and that cinnamon. It's a little bit of a tangy, sweet, turn on breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
And then you've got the herbs and you have all the different seasonings in the sausage, whichever sausage you're using. And it is really, really tasty.
Exactly. It's so good. Try it. You might like it. Well, you will like it. We know this one you're going to like.
Pudding.
Let us know what you think. Okay, so let's move on to retail therapy. Retail therapy. Yeah. Okay, this week's retail therapy, we're doing wire garden cloches, okay? And you're going to need these if you have chickens.
These are fantastic. They're usually made out of chicken wire, but they're fantastic to put over top of plants that you don't want your birds to absolutely completely devour. In my case, I'm going to stake them into the ground so that the geese can't knock them over and eat what's underneath of them.
And you know what? It's probably easier to purchase these for geese and ducks than chickens because chickens' beaks can get through a bigger, so you're going to really need to get tight woven ones for chickens.
It's not going to stop them from getting the occasional delicious nip in there, but it will stop them from scratching or digging the plants out of the ground.
Now, the geese and the ducks, it can stop their bills from going in there for sure.
Definitely, yeah. And my geese are marauders. I've taken to calling them the destroying angels because they have killed numerous trees. They've dug up potatoes. Yesterday, I was outside working and I turned around and I saw Pfeffernusa going by. And Pfeffernusa had something in her bill and it looked big. I thought, did she grab a black walnut? What is that? No, that's one of her mama's rare purple potatoes that she dug out of the ground, and she was on her way to the water bucket to rinse it.
So she had a potato.
Yeah, she dug up a potato. Yeah. I've been nursing these beautiful little, it's like a rare heirloom, these little blue fingerling potatoes. And she helped herself. They should not eat raw potatoes, so I did take it. But yes.
I was going to say that's on their list of no to eating.
Yeah, so. It is. But apparently it was great fun digging it up.
They just free range around the yard a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's easier to do that with them because they have less predators.
And they need to graze.
Yeah.
I mean, it is very important for them to have grazing time. So they're out in the morning and out in the late afternoon or evening for a while. So
seeing what they can eat and get into.
Well, I'm just going to have to move. I have some tall garden beds where the only way they can reach it is if things are hanging over.
Yeah.
When we put the dog yard in, it was so we could keep deer out of the garden. And I think it's going to be more food moved in the back.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got that layered kind of garden area that you could do that.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought my sister actually had these at her place, keep the bunnies out, and I thought they were fantastic. You can get them at places like Gardener Supply, etc., but you can also find them on Amazon.
They're right on Amazon, and I'm not sure if Tractor Supply, but I would try Tractor Supply. I'm not sure if they carry them or not, but I do know Amazon. You can go right on there and get them delivered right to your house.
I haven't found them on TSC, but that doesn't mean anything. Now,
and you can get some that look like little houses or decorative, or you can get like, just the basket looking ones. However you want to do that for protection. And it's a double ed. If you get deer, they're going to protect against the deer too, or the groundhogs.
You can get these in varying qualities. And, smaller ones, you can get a multi-pack for like $25. And they go all the way up to like, 100 and over, depending on how heavy they are, how big they are,
how decorative they are, all those things. I mean, you can even get them on Walmart.com. These are some that you can get anywhere you need, but we thought we would mention it because if you're free ranging your chickens around your garden, it's always great for photo ops, but you want to protect those when they're out there because they're going to eat your plants.
Yes, they will.
So you're going to need these. So we just wanted to mention it's something that you might need.
I thought they were a good idea. It's not the same as blocking like a whole bed off, but you can protect things that you really don't want damaged.
Exactly. Okay, so should we talk already what we're going to be talking about next week?
Next week, we are spotlighting an extremely popular breed. We're going back and revisiting some of the earlier spotlights. We are doing the Morans.
Oh, yeah.
Main topic, we're going to do some Q&A. Lots of questions we've had sent to us about dealing with aggressive birds or bullies.
Oh, yeah. We've had those questions.
We're continuing our apple theme for September with spiced apple cupcakes.
Yummy.
And retail therapy, we're doing something called warmies.
We'll tell you about them next time.
Warmies.
What should we tell everybody to do until next week?
Hug your chickens, ducks, and geese.
Every day and kiss them too. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to see more of us, please follow us on Instagram at Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. If you'd like to help us grow the podcast, please leave us a written review on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, please visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. Thanks for listening.